Jane Morgan, born Florence Catherine Currier on May 3, 1924, in Newton, Massachusetts, became one of America's beloved traditional pop singers. Her voice, which captivated audiences around the globe, carried her from humble beginnings to international stages. Known professionally as Jane Morgan, she charmed her way into the hearts of listeners in France, the UK, and eventually the United States, earning 6 gold records and an enduring reputation as a polished performer in nightclubs, on Broadway, and on television. Jane came from a musically inclined family. Her parents, Olga and Bertram Currier, were both musicians, and Jane was one of 5 children. She began vocal lessons at the age of 5 while also studying piano. Summers were often spent acting in plays at the Kennebunkport Playhouse in Maine, founded by her brother Robert. Even at a young age, her love for the stage was evident. In 1941, she was named treasurer of the Playhouse, hinting at her early involvement in performance arts. After high school, Jane was accepted into the prestigious Juilliard School of Music in New York. Initially aspiring to become an opera singer, she supported herself by singing in small clubs, restaurants, and at private events. Her path began to shift toward popular music, a change that would ultimately define her legacy. It was during this time that bandleader Art Mooney gave her the name Jane Morgan, a composite of names from 2 of his vocalists. Her big break came in 1948 when she was invited to Paris by French impresario Bernard Hilda. In France, Jane became a sensation. Renowned French songwriters like Charles Trenet noticed her, and many composed songs that became hits for her. She recorded with French labels such as Polydor and Parlophone and was soon hosting her own TV show. Her European success opened doors for her in London as well, where she performed on the West End and at iconic venues like the London Palladium. In the mid-1950s, Jane returned to the US and began performing at Lou Walter's Latin Quarter in New York. This led to her discovery by Dave Kapp, the founder of Kapp Records. To rebrand her as an American star rather than a French export, Kapp had her record, Baseball, and titled her first album The American Girl from Paris. One of her major breakthroughs came with her duet with pianist Roger Williams, Two Different Worlds, which gained substantial radio airplay. But it was her collaboration with the Troubadours on the song Fascination in 1957 that became her signature hit, staying on the charts for 29 weeks and solidifying her status in the American pop music scene. In 1958, she recorded The Day the Rains Came, which topped the UK singles chart in early 1959. This bilingual song further showcased her international appeal. That same year, she was featured in a major jazz TV special, Timex All-Star Jazz 3. Over the following years, Jane performed in a range of stage productions including The King and I, Can Can, Hello, Dolly, and Kiss Me, Kate, among others. Her personal life also experienced significant changes during this period. She divorced her first husband, Larry Stith, in 1964. A year later, she married her manager, Jerry Weintraub, a prominent figure in the entertainment industry, and more than 10 years her junior. Together, they adopted 3 daughters, and Jane also had a stepson from Jerry's previous marriage. Though the couple separated in the 1980s, they never divorced. Weintraub passed away in 2015. In the 1960s, Jane continued to record popular songs, including the English version of the Italian song Romantica. Her 2 final albums with RCA included her notable track, A Girl Named Johnny Cash, which she performed on Johnny Cash's TV show. Though this song and others received moderate success, Jane began to step back from full-time performing, retiring from active performance in 1973. Despite retirement, she occasionally made special appearances. In 2009, she sang at the UNICEF Ball honoring her husband. She also worked behind the scenes as a production assistant on films like the remake of Ocean's 11. She divided her later years between homes in Malibu, Palm Springs, and Kennebunkport, Maine. Notably, she owned Blueberry Hill Farm in Kennebunkport since 1958, a cherished property reflecting her deep connection to Maine. In her later years, Jane remained a revered figure. In 2011, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a fitting tribute to her decades-long career. Her glamorous performance gowns, spanning the 1950s through the 1980s, were exhibited publicly for the first time in 2022 at the Brick Store Museum in Kennebunk, Maine. Her influence also reached new generations when her rendition of "If Only I Could Live My Life Again" played during the closing credits of the second season finale of Apple TV's The Morning Show in 2021. Jane Morgan celebrated her 100th birthday on May 3, 2024. She passed away peacefully on August 4, 2025, at her home in Naples, Florida, at the age of 101. Her cause of death was reported as natural causes related to age. Throughout her long and storied career, Jane performed for notable figures including French President Charles de Gaulle and 5 U.S. presidents: John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, and George W. Bush. She toured with entertainment legends such as Jack Benny and John Raitt and even graced the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. 2 of her country singles made it onto the Billboard charts in 1970. Jane was a familiar face on American television as well. She debuted on Celebrity Time in 1951 and appeared on shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, The Jack Benny Program, The Mike Douglas Show, and The Hollywood Palace. She starred in her own specials and appeared in dramatic roles on shows such as Peter Gunn and It Takes a Thief. Her versatility allowed her to thrive in both musical and theatrical spaces. Over her lifetime, Jane released dozens of singles and albums, beginning with her early European recordings with Bernard Hilda's orchestra and extending through her American recordings with Cap, RCA, and other major labels. She was especially prolific in the 1950s and 1960s, with her voice gracing songs that ranged from romantic ballads to show tunes and even novelty hits. Her discography reflects an artist unafraid to explore a wide variety of musical styles. Jane Morgan's net worth at the time of her death was estimated at approximately $10 million. Her wealth came not only from her music career but also from television appearances, Broadway performances, royalties, and her work with her husband on film projects. Additionally, her properties in California and Maine contributed to her overall estate. Jane Morgan leaves behind a legacy of timeless music, elegance, and artistic versatility. She remained dedicated to her craft until the very end, with a life that was as rich in achievement as it was in grace. Her influence, particularly in the realms of traditional pop and stage performance, continues to inspire generations of artists and fans alike. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and kindly subscribe for more videos like this.